This program is brought to you by Real Estimate, Australia's #1 property value estimate. Get your real estimate today on realestate.com.au.
Welcome back. Taking a look now at the auctions across the country this weekend. Sydney will host 959 auctions, Melbourne just under 1,200, Brisbane 174 auctions, Adelaide 171 and Canberra will hold 75 auctions. The most viewed homes this week include 31 Denham Street, Hawthorn in Victoria. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom Federation home in Hawthorn's prestigious Yarra precinct. Sitting on 766 square metres, the home features high detailed ceilings as well as a formal lounge and dining areas and enriched with vibrant gardens. 123 Roslyn Street, Brighton in Victoria is being offered through expressions of interest. Estimated to be worth close to $3.5 million, this 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom modern home has luxurious high-end marble and natural stone finishes throughout. And the most viewed auction going under the hammer this weekend is 37 Princes Avenue in Crafters West, South Australia. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home on a large 1,394 square metre block. The charming weatherboard home featuring 2 large living spaces and a double carport with a powered tool shed. Only moments away from nearby Crafters and Stirling villages, there's also plenty of off-street parking. And the top listing of the week was this knockdown in Crestmid in Queensland. 19 Billabong Drive is sitting on 579 square metres and it's a corner block. The dwelling requires further demolition with the opportunity to build your dream home or a solid renovation. Surrounded by gardens, parks and wide streets, the suburb is one of the most popular in Logan. With no reserve price set, it will definitely be sold to the highest bidder. And earlier, I spoke with senior economist Paul Ryan from PropTrack and asked him to take us through the property markets data.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of auctions this week again. So over 2,600 auctions across the country. Auctions in Sydney are up more than 30% on this time last year. Auctions in Melbourne, more than 1,000 again. So another Super Saturday in Melbourne. And in the face of these higher auction numbers, we've maintained really high auction clearance rates. So we've seen clearance rates above 60% the last couple of weeks. So the market is absorbing this new supply.
Now, Paul, new data from PropTrack says that November is actually the best month for sellers. Why is this? Is this because potential buyers are actually thinking about moving into a home after that standard 6-week settlement?
I think that's part of it. So we crunched the numbers on sales data and found that prices in November tend to be about 0.8% above the average throughout the year. Now, this is a bit of coordination. You know, a lot of sellers are also buying properties, so sellers want to sell when there's lots of properties also on the market. But the numbers show that actually that weight of demand in that classic spring selling season, as well as that period kind of after summer, early in the year, those tend to be slightly better for sellers. It's kind of one data point for sellers to consider.
Now, there's speculation that the Reserve Bank is going to raise rates again one more time before Christmas. Do you think they're going to do it next month?
Yeah, expectations of rate rises increased rapidly this week on the board minutes, which basically said the RBA is not going to tolerate a slower return to their inflation target than they have forecast. Now, basically, everything's going to really hinge on that CPI read that we're going to get soon. Really, I don't really expect the RBA to raise rates in November or December this year. I think they'll take a longer-term view and come back next year and see where the inflation data are.
Now, moving forward with property prices, do you believe prices are going to rise in 2024?
That's what the data is looking like. All these indicators that we have. So really strong demand, auction clearance rates are strong. The growth in the market over the past 9 months, we've seen growth every month this year so far, points to continued moderate growth in home prices. That's what we've had this year. It hasn't been at the breakneck speed we saw throughout the pandemic. So my expectation next year is kind of slow, below average growth because we still have the weight of those sharply higher interest rates on buyers. Borrowing capacity is still down 30% on pre-pandemic numbers.
Well, as you said, with these interest rate hikes this year, when do you believe that that'll start to have a ripple effect on the market?
We've seen spending slow. We've seen the economy start to slow. I think a lot of the confidence that's hit the market has been that we're looking like avoiding a recession. We're kind of looking towards getting to that soft landing that the RBA would love to see. I think what we'll see is the economy continue to slow. We'll see the property market, that weight of demand, which has really surprised us, is going to continue to push prices, I think, slightly higher over the coming months.
Now, in terms of demand, is that across the entire country or are you seeing it in certain pockets?
We're seeing a bit of a reversal on those pandemic trends towards regional areas. We're seeing Sydney and Melbourne outperform over recent months. And we're also seeing those regional capitals, Adelaide and Perth, have been the really strong performers over the past year. Part of that is that push to affordability with higher interest rates.
Lovely. Paul Ryan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.